everybody. Welcome to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. My name is Samantha Genzer. I'm going to be your show host for today. We have a very exciting episode for you guys. We're going to be covering the WNBA All-Star Team roster predictions, the Meijer LPGA Classic, a preview of the track and field Olympic trials, the Athletes Unlimited Softball League, and make sure you guys stay to the end of the show to hear about the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. Before we begin, I wanted to ask you guys to like and follow the show and to become a part of our show to tip and donate using the link gsmcpodcast.net. Also, we do get a lot of questions and comments that come from viewers during the show, so to ensure that your questions get read on the air, I ask that you use the link. This puts your questions at the top of the list so that I see them, and of course, it also really helps the show, and we really do appreciate it. As a person, I would appreciate it as well for my sanity and well-being. Again, the link is gsmcpodcast.net. Now, let's get started. I hope you guys enjoy today's content. And the chat box is working today, so I will be able to communicate with live reads and all of that. So everything is all set today. Okay, so our first segment of the day is probably my favorite. We're going to be talking about the WNBA All-Star Team. So the Olympic basketball team roster has already been announced, and we need to know who is going to be on the All-Star team. The 2024 AT&T WNBA All-Star Game already announced as a sellout at Footprint Center in Phoenix. Home of the three-time WNBA champion Phoenix Mercury will showcase the WNBA's biggest and brightest stars under one roof on Saturday, July 20th. Voting for this team tipped off today, and it started at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Rosters will be announced July 2nd, and starters will be determined by each respective team's coach. So here are my predictions, or who I would pick to be on the team. If I was the person that just could decide this. First, obviously, I think Caitlin Clark is going to be on the team. At least I'm hoping she is. She better be on that team. The rookie, who ranks 4th in the league in assists per game, joins Olympian Jackie Young as the only player this season averaging at least 16 points and 6 assists. I personally think she's the best rookie in the league. She has been consistent scoring-wise, and yes, she has not been doing great in turnovers, needs to focus on limiting turnovers, but her scoring sort of makes up for that. Also, when you look at just turnovers, you have to remember that that's also like a team thing. Like, you can't totally blame turnovers on one person. Her team should be helping her out more, but yes, it is something that she can work on herself as well. Anyway, my point here is that Clark is a reliable player, given that she can easily score over 20 points, and with a better team in the All-Star game, it will be interesting to see how she does. Maybe she does better with a better team. It'll be interesting, so please, everybody, vote for her. Next person I have is Jonquel Jones from the New York Liberty. She gave Ogunbowale a run for the 2021 All-Star Game MVP, finishing with 18 points and 14 rebounds for Team WNBA. Then, still part of the Sun, Jones would go on to win League MVP that summer. Fast forward 3 years, and Jones is poised to pick up her 5th All-Star nod and first since being traded to the Liberty. She's averaging 15.5 points and 8.8 boards. She has been on a tear recently, scorching the Sun and Mystics with a combined 51 points, including 7 threes, 16 rebounds, 8 assists, and 6 blocks. Next person I have is Arike Ogunbowale from the Dallas Wings. She's one of my favorite players. I talk about her all the time. She's so reliable, and she's always leading her team in scoring. She ranks 2nd in the league in scoring behind Asia Wilson, who is on the Olympic basketball team roster. Her nifty handles and clutch shooting are practically made for an all-star game, as was evident in the 2021 Team USA v Team WNBA showdown when she was named All-Star Game MVP. The 3-time All-Star has been in the national team player pool and has competed for USA basketball in the past, but has yet to be named to a World Cup or Olympic roster. This is her moment to shine. Next is Kayla McBride from the Minnesota Lynx, and she also dominates in scoring for her team. She's shooting very well, one of the best shooters in the league. She's hitting a blistering 51.7% of her three-pointers and went 15 for 23 from the arc this past weekend. She has definitely been a big part of getting Minnesota as a top 3 team. It's only fitting that McBride earns her 4th All-Star nod this season and first since 2019 when she was still with the Aces. At this rate, she might be in consideration for the 3-point contest. Who knows? Next person I got is Dewana Bonner from the Connecticut Sun. She's having one of the best seasons of her career, averaging 18.6 points and 5.6 rebounds, and moving into the number 5 spot in the league's all-time scoring list. She's angling for her 6th overall and 5th All-Star bid in 6th season, and this one would present an opportunity for her to go up against her son teammate and fiance, Alyssa Thomas, who was named to her first Olympic team. Plus, Bonner will get to show out in the city where she played the first 10 seasons of her WNBA career and won 2 titles. This would be like a nice personal moment for her. Alicia Gray from the Atlanta Dream. Gray's trade to Atlanta from Dallas prior to last season prompted a sort of career renaissance as she emerged as one of the top 2-way wings in the league in 2023 on her way to guiding Atlanta back to the playoffs. The former South Carolina standout earned her first All-Star nod last year and could return to that stage next month thanks to her strong start. Her 15.3 points per game includes 45.1% shooting from 3, one of the best percentages in the WNBA. Arike Hamby from the Los Angeles Sparks. She is one of the best players defensively and offensively, considering her scoring abilities on the Sparks team. The former 2-time 6th Player of the Year is one of 4 players averaging a double-double with 20 points and 11.4 rebounds, which ranks 6th and 2nd in the league, respectively. Hamby was an All-Star in 2021 and 2022, then with the Las Vegas Aces, but this would be her first nod since her trade to the Sparks and having her second child in early 2023. Okay, these next 2 picks might sound a bit crazy because they're both rookies, but you have to consider fan picks. I'm thinking that Angel Reese and Cameron Brink might have an opportunity to make the team. Angel Reese is so famous considering her success at LSU. She's one of the highest earning college athletes from name, image, and likeness deals. After her junior year, she surpassed $1 million in NIL evaluation, leading all women's college basketball players. She's also amazing and has been proving her worth in the WNBA. She's been averaging 11.6 points, 9.6 rebounds, 1.9 assists, and 1.9 steals. Also, the rivalry between Kayla Clark and Reese has helped her become more popular and garner more attention. So I think that actually will help her possibly get some more fan picks. And she plays like she's been playing the WNBA since she was born. So, and then Cameron Brink, because of the fans loving her and all of that, I love her. She's tall and long and has amazing defensive abilities considering rebound and blocking. She's also known as a fashion icon, so a lot of people love her, even people who don't watch the WNBA or aren't into sports. My sister is not into the WNBA at all, but she knows Cameron Brink so much because she's always popping on her Instagram feed with outfit looks, so she would probably vote for her. Anyway, according to Forbes, though, Cameron Brink is currently worth an estimated $2 million, so you can already guess how famous she is there. And, of course, she's doing amazing in the WNBA right now. She's been playing a lot of minutes with the Sparks. She's averaging 8.1 points, 5.8 rebounds, 1.8 assists, and 1 steal. I think it would be nice to have 3 rookies on the team. And, these are, the top 5, they're in the top 5 rookies. I've given my list. I, ranked the rookies before in another video, and I'll say that Angel Reese is not on my top 3, but she's in my top 5. So, best rookies, popularity-wise, with fame and all of that, but also, on the court, they're amazing. Next, Rhyne Howard from the Atlanta Dream. Howard has been an all-star each year she has been in the WNBA, and the trend could continue, though her situation is unique this year. The 2022 number 1 pick was named to a U.S. 3v3 Olympic squad alongside Cameron Brink, but Howard would have to get voted on to Team WNBA if she is to play in the All-Star game. Howard continues to do it all for the Dream and is second in the league with 2.5 steals per game. I'm hoping she continues this streak, and it just seems right for her to be on the team, consistency-wise. We have 2 more people to talk about. Natasha Cloud from the Phoenix Mercury. Right now, she's averaging 11.3 points, 4.8 rebounds, 7.6 assists, and 1.8 steals. So she's doing amazing in assists right now, and the team is going to need that, especially consider they will be going against the top players in the WNBA that are on the Olympic team. The other person I have to mention is Ezi Magbegor from the Seattle Storm. The conversation around Seattle in the offseason, my like brain just like wait, what am I saying? I was like trying to like switch the thing and I got, okay. Anyway, the conversation around Seattle in the offseason surrounded the Storm's newly formed Big Three of Joel Lloyd plus free agency acquisitions, including Skylar Diggins-Smith. But Matt Bigor's presence makes Seattle's core more akin to a Big Four, if that makes sense. This 24-year-old Australian Olympian and 2023 WNBA All-Star continues to stand out with her defensive impact in particular, where she's tied for first in the league in blocks per game at 3 and anchors a unit that's one of the best in the WNBA. Her defensive abilities are so impressive. So before we go on to the next segment, I wanted to talk about something else with the WNBA because it is something that is very, very important, and I feel like everyone should be aware of this, and it is very alarming. So despite experiencing a significant surge in popularity, the WNBA is poised to continue its historical pattern of financial losses, as reported by the Washington Post. Since its inception, the league has not turned a profit in any year, relying heavily on substantial subsidies from the NBA. This year, it's projected to incur losses around $50 million, reaching over $250 million over nearly 3 decades. As the WNBA marks its 28th year, this ongoing financial support from the NBA underscores this crucial role it has played in the women's league's existence. Amidst growing interest, the WNBA is exploring avenues to establish financial independence, including negotiating its own television rights separate from the NBA. However, the fairness of such a move is debatable given the NBA's foundational support and the WNBA's creation and survival. With the league still operating under an outdated TV rights agreement, even rising stars like Caitlin Clark, who has significantly boosted viewership, aren't enough to immediately offset these financial challenges. The league's income primarily stems from TV deals, highlighting the urgent need for a more profitable agreement. Adding to the league's expenses this season are the newly introduced charter flights for players, estimated to cost around $25 million annually. While increased attendance does provide some financial relief, the real game changer would be securing a lucrative TV deal. Also, there's looming uncertainty with the collective bargaining agreement, the CBA, as players are likely to opt out next season due to mounting pressure for higher wages. All of these factors contribute to the complex financial landscape for the WNBA. While it is probable that the league will eventually achieve profitability, the sustainability of its current popularity and the potential to evolve into a financially robust entity remains really uncertain. The WNBA stands at a crossroads with its future success hinging on strategic decisions that could transform its financial narrative. The financial issues the WNBA is facing despite its growing fan base are very, very concerning. This whole thing raises big questions about whether the WNBA can keep going long-term without constantly needing cash injections from the NBA. These ongoing losses might scare off potential investors and limit the league's ability to grow and improve things like marketing and player development. Plus, the financial instability means the league struggles to offer competitive salaries compared to international leagues, which might make it harder to attract and keep the best players. On top of that, the league's history itself of financial struggles could weaken its position when it comes to negotiating new TV deals or sponsorships. Companies might be hesitant to invest big bucks because of the WNBA's past money issues. There's also the matter of the players potentially opting out of the current CBA next season, aiming for better paying conditions, which is fair. If they can't strike a deal that works for everyone, it could lead to labor disputes or even strikes, messing up the league's operations and hurting its reputation just as a whole. And let's not forget how all of this looks from the outside. The WNBA has done a lot to boost its popularity and make a social impact, but if it keeps being seen as financially unstable and dependent on the NBA, it might struggle to draw more fans and broader support. Getting a handle on these financial challenges is key to making sure the WNBA can keep its momentum and secure a successful future. I understand the whole thing with why people want the NBA and the WNBA to be independent. I understand that, but at the same time, you have to consider the financial aspects that go into it. There is so much that is involved with this. And yes, I am located in Dallas. Someone asked that. Okay, so we're now going to move on to our next segment where we're going to talk about predictions regarding the LPGA Classic for Simply Give. Before we get into that, we're going to be taking a very short break, so I will see you guys very soon.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Hello guys, welcome back to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We just got done talking about the WNBA All-Star roster predictions, and now we're going to be talking about the Meijer LPGA Classic predictions kind of preview. Someone also asked last segment what my favorite TV show is, and I needed to take a moment during the break to actually think about that question. And I was trying to think new TV show, because we all want to watch new TV shows, but I have to say that Modern Family will forever be my ultimate favorite TV show. Not a sponsorship here, but Modern Family is the best TV show. Okay, so I wanted to remind you guys to like and follow the show and to become a part of our show to tip and donate using the link gsmcpodcast.net. This also puts your questions at the top of the list so that I see them and they get read on the air, and of course it really does help the show, and I really appreciate it because financials, and we really appreciate all your guys' support. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, we are going to begin. The Meijer LPGA Classic began today for its 10th year at Blythefield Country Club in Belmont. The tournament is once again being held during Father's Day weekend, June 13th to the 16th, and features the best golfers in the world, including last year's winner, Leona McBride. 144 of the top-ranked players in women's golf will compete for a $3 million purse. Top names include Minjee Lee, Celine Boutier, Athaya Thitikul, and Lilia Vu, as well as past winners Jennifer Kupuo, Nelly Korda, Brooke Henderson, Se-Young Kim, and Lexi Thompson. The Meijer LPGA Classic is part of the Race to the CME Globe, a season-long competition in which LPGA members accumulate points in LPGA tournaments to gain entry into the season-ending CME Group Tour Championship. The top 72 players compete. It is also one of the top 2 events left to qualify for the upcoming Olympic Games. It's an opportunity for West Michigan families and visitors to experience professional golf firsthand while also supporting a good cause, Simply Give. Simply Give, just so you guys are aware, it's a hunger relief program that supports local food pantries across the Midwest. So these previous 9 tournaments have generated more than $10 million to feed families across Midwest through the retailer's Simply Give program. It's been very successful so far. So like I said, the competition is being held in Blythefield Country Club, or BCC, which is on a very hilly terrain in Belmont, Michigan. The result of a recent renovation, the Par 72 scorecard, is very unique. BCC has 5 par 3s, 5 par 5s, and 8 par 4s. The 7th longest course on tour, those par 5s really add up in more ways than one. The average winning score of the Meijer over the past 5 years is 21 under par. When you consider 28% of the holes played are par 5s, you can see why the scoring is so low. Even more interesting, the greens at BCC are the 4th smallest on tour. Tiny targets that give up a ton of birdies, basically. The course roundings changed for the tournament. The front 9 is played 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 17, 18. The back 9 is played 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 6, 7. It sounds so weird when you're listing them out. So the weather looks pretty good in Michigan this week. The forecast calls for temperatures in the low 80s each day and a chance of showers on Thursday. The region has been relatively dry, so the course conditions are optimal for any other run at 20 under par. We will see some wind on Thursday, today. I'm forgetting that today's Thursday, alongside some gray clouds. But for the rest of the rounds, the breeze will be in the single digits. And I did want to give my honest predictions, so I did, and like best bets and all of that. So I would like to make this clear that I did not see how today's did. So I literally have no idea. And I will be recapping this entire tournament on Monday, so keep tuned for that. Okay, so now let's talk about some of the best bets and predictions for this competition. Okay, so I'm thinking that Minjee Lee has a good chance of coming out on top. I always make golf predictions and they never go well for me because I'm always wrong. Like, let's be honest. She had a top 10 finish at the U.S. Open, so we know she's back, and she's been improving, and this course has her strength. She is first on the LPGA for approach, and that skills also propelled her to number 1 in the LPGA in par 3 scoring. While her brother plods around Pinehurst, Minjee Lee can build off her 3 top 20 results at the Meijer in the last 4 starts with a Sunday sweat of her own. Okay, the best head-to-head matchup has got to be Athaya Thitikul over Nelly Korda. It seems irresponsible to go against world number 1s on both tours, but Thitikul looks healthy and is playing like an elite player again. 6th at the U.S. Open and 4th at the ShopRite. She must be in better headspace than Nelly Korda. I believe fatigue set in for the Rolex number 1 Korda. As Nelly Korda looks ahead to the season's next major, watch Thitikul keep playing great and provide us with a big win. I am getting really sad that I'm kind of losing a bit of confidence in Nelly Korda, considering she is in the beginning of the year, she was my number 1, and she still is, but I don't know, I just have a little bit less confidence in her right now. Anyway, for best bet of the week, we got Leona McGuire to finish top 10. This is kind of basic a bit. In Leona McGuire's last 3 Meijer starts, she has finished first, second, and second. The Super Solheim Cup star makes it happen at BCC year after year. The defending champion took last week off after the U.S. Open to get some rest. With a full tank, I bet she unloads it again on the field in Michigan. She's a defending champion, so I'm hoping that she gets to possibly win it again, or at least be in the top 10. Some other people to keep an eye on are Carlota Ciganda, Ali Ewing, Ayaka Faru, Naren Ann, and Liana Strom. Okay, so Carlota Ciganda from Spain has been a force on the LPGA Tour with her aggressive playing style and powerful driving capabilities. With multiple LPGA Tour victories under her belt, she has demonstrated her ability to thrive under pressure and navigate challenging courses adeptly. Her recent performances have been consistently solid, frequently finishing the top 20, which really showcases her enduring skill and competitiveness. Her experience make her a good contender and a favorite to watch as she vies for another title at the Meijer LPGA Classic. Ali Ewing of the U.S. brings a blend of mental toughness and strategic finesse to the game. I love that word, finesse. With several tour wins, including notable victories in recent seasons, Ewing has cemented her status as a top competitor on the LPGA circuit. Her strength lies in her meticulous course management and exceptional short game, both of which are crucial in navigating the complexities of the Meijer LPGA's course layout. Ewing's ability to perform under tournament pressure and her recent track record of top 10 finishes underscore her potential challenge for the lead in this event. Ayaka Faru from Japan has quickly made a name of herself on the tour with outstanding iron play and consistent performances across a range of conditions. As a relatively new player who has already secured wins on the LPGA Tour, Faru's trajectory suggests a very bright future for her. Her adaptability to different courses has been a significant factor in her success, evidenced by her victory at the ShopRite LPGA Classic earlier this year. Faru's form and technical skill set her up as a strong contender, likely to influence the leaderboard throughout the tournament. Naren Ann of South Korea represents this promising new talent rising through the ranks. Although she has yet to clinch her first LPGA Tour victory, her numerous top 10 finishes signal her impending breakthrough. Known for her precise iron play and calm demeanor, she's adapted quickly to the high levels of competition on the tour. Her rapid ascent and potential make her a fascinating player to watch as she seeks to establish herself among the elite with a strong performance at this LPGA Classic. She's accumulated 5 top 30 finishes in her last 8 tournaments played on the LPGA Tour, including a 6th place result at the 2024 ShotRite Classic. Similar to Korda and for Rio, Naran Ann has played well at this week's LPGA Tour event previously. She finished 20th at the 2023 Meijer LPGA Classic. She's got a lot of pressure on her, but it will be interesting to see her compete again because she is newer talent. Lastly, in recent tournaments, Linnea Strom has thrown flashes of brilliance with strong opening rounds and resilient finishes. Did that kind of rhyme? No, it didn't. I don't know what I'm thinking. Anyway, Strom's game appears to be maturing at the right time, making her a significant threat in really any tournament. Her performances have demonstrated not only skill, but also a growing confidence on the tour. She won the last competition, the ShotRite Classic. For the Meijer LPGA Classic, her balanced approach and past performances set her up as sort of the dark horse in a way. Her proficiency in handling pressure and executing under critical conditions will be vital if she can harness her strengths and maintain consistency across the tournament's rounds. She could very well find herself among the top contenders. I'm hoping that she can finish in the top 10 at this competition to ensure that she is a good competitor and can stay in the top positions in the LPGA Tour. I mean, she won last competition, so it would be nice to see her win again, So we're now going to move on to our next segment where we're going to talk about a little preview of the track and field Olympic trials. Before we get into that, we're going to be taking a very short break, so I will see you guys very soon.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
Hello guys, welcome back to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We just got back from talking about the Meijer LPGA Classic, and now we're going to be doing a little preview of the U.S. Olympic track and field trials. And someone did ask who my favorite singer is. I have been waiting for someone to ask me this question because I'm a huge fan of Sabrina Carpenter. I love her with my entire life. If there was I want to be her, but also be her best friend. You know what I'm saying? So it's a very confusing dynamic. But I love her so much. Anyway, okay, but back to Olympic trials, track and field. These trials are really coming up a lot quicker than you think. They're going to be taking place in Eugene, Oregon from June 21st to the 30th. An estimated 900 athletes will be competing. There's going to be many well-known track and field stars competing, and it is one of the best track and field competitions in the world. I'm a little biased on that. I'm very excited about it. Only 3 Olympic team spots in each gender are available in each event, and given the U.S. depth in all the facets of track and field, sprints, hurdles, throws, jumps, and distance running events, it's considered to be the world's hardest all-around team to make. How dominant is the U.S. in the world of track and field now? They have led the track and field medal count at every Olympics since 1984 after boycotting the games in 1980. So you can see how competitive it's gonna be, and it is competitive every single. I was about to say every single year, but Olympics aren't every year. Every 4 years, it's super competitive. So at the trials, there were 20 total events for women and men, 10 running events from 100 meters to 10,000 meters, including 2 hurdle races and the 3,000 meter steeplechase, 4 throwing events, discus, shot put, javelin, and hammer throw, 4 jumping events, long jump, triple jump. That was a tongue twister. High jump and pole vault, and then, the quirky 20K race walking event, and of course the 7 event heptathon for women and the 10 event decathlon for men. At the Olympics, Team USA will also compete in men's and women's 4x100 meter and 4x400 meter relays, plus a mixed gender 4x400 and a mixed gender marathon race walk. The athletes competing on these teams will be drawn from those who qualify for Team USA in individual events, along with alternates who are the next best finishers at the trials. There's also the Olympic Marathon, but the U.S. Olympic Trials Marathons was held on February 3rd in Orlando, Florida, to give the athletes enough time to recover from the demands of hammering 26.2 miles before the big dance in Paris. Although some countries arbitrarily select their Olympic track and field teams, the U.S. system is considered equitable for those who show up at the Olympic trials and compete against the country's best athletes in each particular event. There's just one shot for everyone, and if you finish among the top 3 in your event, and also have the proper Olympic qualifying marks or international rankings under your belt, you'll earn the opportunity of a lifetime, no matter if you're a medal contender or someone who bursts onto the scene with a breakthrough performance. So I do love the way that the trials are done, because some people who don't have a name for themselves yet, just out of nowhere, just make it. Anyway, so here are the top stars at the Olympic trials that you should keep your eye on. Okay, we have to start with Sha'Carri Richardson, obviously. What did I just say? Sha'Carri. Did I just say Shakira? That's crazy. No, Shakira is not going to be performing at the Olympic trials, unfortunately. That would be crazy. Sha'Carri Richardson is going to be there, though. She'll be competing in the 100 and 200 meters. She won 100 meter titles at last summer's World Championships in Budapest and ran on the U.S. gold medal 4x100 meter relays. Oh my goodness, I'm messing up all my words right now. It's so bad. Okay. Richardson ensures the meet number 2 in the U.S. and number 3 in the world in the women's 100 at 10.83 seconds, but 8 other Americans have also broken 11 seconds, so that'll make the preliminary heats very much exciting. There are 5 returning individual Olympic gold medalists competing in the U.S. Olympic trials with the hopes of repeating their medals in Paris. We have Athene Mu in the 800 meters, Sydney McLaughlin-Larone in the 400 meter hurdles, Katie Moon in the pole vault, and Valerie Allman in the discus. But there are more than a dozen other returning U.S. medalists from the Tokyo Olympics, as well as many more from the 2023 World Championships, including gold medalists Chase Ely in the shot put and Laglagla Tasaga in the discus. The most talented athlete entered in the Olympic trials might be, okay, you know what? I don't want to say most talented because they're all so talented, but considered versatility, if that makes sense. The most versatility with talent entered in the Olympic trials right now might be Anna Hall, the bronze and silver medalist in the 7A event heptathon at the past 2 World Championships. It's an epic test of speed, strength, agility, and endurance. In the 2-day event, Hall and about a dozen other women will compete in the 100 meter hurdles, high jump, shot put, 200 meters, long jump, javelin throw, and 800 meters, racking up points based on their performance in each event. The athletes with the top 3 cumulative totals will make the U.S. team. So at just 23 years old, Hall is poised to contend for the gold in Paris, although Great Britain's Katarina Johnson-Thompson, the world champion in 2019 and 2023, is also still in search of her first Olympic gold medal after injuries derailed her in 2016 and 2021. So it's going to be a good competition. I feel like I literally cannot say this word. Heptathon is not the most popular sport to watch, but I feel like this is going to be really, really good competition. It's going to drive a lot more popularity. So the Olympic trials are a great time to see young stars break through, and there is a good chance of that coming up in this trials. Several young collegiate stars could earn their place on the U.S. team heading to Paris after successful results in the just completed NCAA championships. Leading the way are double NCAA champions Mackenzie Long, a 23-year-old from the University of Mississippi. She's a senior. She's ranked 6th in the world at the 100 meters at 10.91 seconds and first in the 200 meters at 21.83 seconds. And then Parker Valby, a 21-year-old junior at the University of Florida who ranks 5th in the U.S. in the 5,000 meters at 14 minutes, 52.18 seconds and second place in the 10,000 meters at 30 minutes, 50.43 seconds. Unfortunately, I do have to say that not all of the best track and field athletes are competing. There are a few top-tier athletes who are hurt and won't be able to compete, which makes it really sad, but that just unfortunately is how it is right now. So Courtney Frerichs, for a torn ACL, she will probably not be there. She is a silver medalist in the steeplechase at the Tokyo Olympics in 2021. Also, Alyssa Monson for a torn medial meniscus, and she's the 2020 Olympian in the 10,000 hurdles, the American record holder in the 5,000 and 10,000 meters, and the 5th place finisher in the 5,000 at last year's World Championships. Caitlin Tohi, a 4-time NCAA champion distance runner for North Carolina State, who turned pro and signed with Adidas last winter, is also likely to miss the trials due to a lingering hamstring injury. There's also some doubt about the status of Athing Mu for a hamstring injury. She's the Tokyo Olympian 800-meter champion who has yet to race in 2024 at all. So we don't really know exactly what the definitive, if she is going to be at the trials. There's some doubt that she will be. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm hoping that we get some more updates soon about that. And then meanwhile, Emma Corbarn, a 3-time Olympian, 2017 world champion, and 10-time U.S. champion in the 3,000-meter steeplechase, broke her ankle during her season opening steeplechase in Shanghai on April 27th. She underwent surgery a week later and announced at the time that she would miss the trials, but has been progressing quickly through her recovery. If both she and Frerichs miss the meet, it will leave the door wide open for a new generation of steeplers, including 2020 Olympic Valerie Constein, who's back in top form after tearing her ACL at a steeplechase and undergoing surgery last May. So it'll be very interesting. But on some brighter news, there will be some new mothers competing, which is so impressive and inspiring. And I love when they get their own spotlight because that's so crazy. So Elle St. Perry is the top-ranked runner in both the 1,500 and 5,000, having won personal best of 3 minutes 56 seconds, the second fastest time in U.S. history, and 14 minutes 34.12 seconds, the 5th fastest time on the U.S. list this spring. Although she's only 15 months postpartum after giving birth to her son in March 2023, this 29-year-old is running better and faster than ever. In January, she broke the American indoor record in the mile at 4 minutes, 16.41 seconds at the Melrose Games in New York City, and then won the gold medal in the 3,000 meters in the Indoor World Championships in Glasgow in March. St. Perry could be joined by 2 world-class sprinters, Nia Ali, the 35-year-old number 2 ranked competitor in the 100-meter hurdles and the 2019 world champion. She's a mother of a 9-year-old son and 7-year-old daughter. And then Kanara Hayes, the 32-year-old 8th ranked runner in the 400 meters, is a mother to a 5-year-old son. Hayes, a 3-time 4x400 relay world champion, finished 7th in the 400 at the Tokyo Olympics. Meanwhile, Kate Grace, a 2016 Olympian in the 800 meters who narrowly missed making Team USA for the Tokyo Olympics 3 years ago, is back running strong at age 35 after a 2-year hiatus during which she suffered from a bout of long COVID and then took time off to give birth to her son in March 2023. It's not clear or definitive if all these mothers will be competing in the trials, but these are just some athletes to keep your eye on if they do end up being at the trials, and we should all be giving them a round of applause because they're newly mothers and they could possibly be at the trials. So we're now going to move on to the next segment where we're going to talk about the new Athletes Unlimited Softball League starting in 2025. Before we begin, we are going to be taking a very short break, so I will see you guys very soon.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Welcome back, everybody, to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We just got done previewing the track and field U.S. Olympic trials, and now we're going to be talking about softball. So here's the thing. We know that there's a professional softball league, the Women's Professional Fast Pitch. They launched their first official season in June 2023, and they have a total of 4 teams. 3 of those teams are located in Texas. This league has just not gotten much attention, and to be honest, it has not been very successful. However, because of this weak league, Athletes Unlimited created their own professional softball league called the Athletes Unlimited Softball League, or AUSL. Their league will consist of 5 weeks of nonstop action where the teams change weekly and every play is an opportunity to win. So it's different from your normal typical softball league. Off the field, the athletes recruit fellow pros, create league roles, and retain equity in the league. On the field, the top 4 players become new captains each week and draft their teams from scratch for each week's game. So it's also different in the sense that the players have a lot more say in their team. So this league will be launching in 2025. ESPN has signed on as a founding broadcast partner of the AUSL and will carry at least 18 games exclusively on its linear platforms. Okay, I have some pictures to show y'all for this little slideshow kind of thing going on. Okay, here we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, so softball legends Jessica Mendoza, Kat Osterman, and Natasha Watley have signed on as advisors to the AUSL, consulting with AU leadership and current athletes on the strategic direction of the new league. They appeared at a press conference at the College Softball World Series in Oklahoma City alongside AU co-founder and CEO John Patrikoff and AU Senior Vice President and Director of Softball Cherry Kemp to officially announce a new venture. The AUSL will become the city-based league beginning in 2026, while the inaugural season in 2025 will be a touring property featuring games in 6 to 8 different cities. The existing AU Pro Softball Championship season will follow the conclusion of the AUSL season and will be named the AUSL Champions Cup beginning in 2025, while continuing to use AU's innovation scoring model to crown an individual champion. Further details about the AUSL, including locations, competitors, schedule, and additional broadcast partners, will be announced at a later date. So Athletes Unlimited launched in 2020 with its first AU Pro Softball Championship season, later adding Pro Women's Lacrosse, Volleyball, and Basketball leagues, as well as AU Pro Softball AUX, and additional 2-week softball seasons. The AUSL marks the latest expansion of Athletes Unlimited presence in softball. AU co-founder Jonathan Soros said, "Athletes Unlimited has been building on the momentum in women's pro sports since our launch 5 years ago. We've been growing steadily in softball, and the AUSL will be our biggest expansion yet to create more opportunities for fans to watch the world's best athletes." Athletes Unlimited and Topps have partnered to create a 2024 Topps Athletes Unlimited Pro Softball set. The set will be released on June 14, 2024, and will be a limited number of packs will be available, so fans can collect all 62 AU Pro Softball players cards featuring these dynamic photography of the game's biggest stars, including Odyssey, Alexandra, Alyssa Denham, and Sydney Morero. The set will also feature all new and league-inspired parallels and autograph parallels, exciting insert cards, and ultra-rare quad autograph cards featuring an assortment of top-tier 4-player autograph combinations. John Patrikoff said, "With our established infrastructure as well as strong existing sponsorship and broadcast partners and the support of USA Softball, we believe the AUSL is set up for success. As the sport prepares to return to the Olympics in 2028 amid increasing fan interest at the college and professional levels, now is the time to seize on this positive momentum and expand the sport even further." And then Sherry Kemp said, "I'm confident the AUSL will succeed, building off all the efforts made by so many to build and grow the sport to where it is now. The AUSL will benefit from the AU team's 5 years of experience, an established and committed broadcast partner in ESPN, and a unique relationship with the current players that has not been seen before in this sport. These relationships, along with a unified and supportive structure, are what we believe to be the key to success at the professional level." And then a lot of softball and famous athletes spoke about this new league. Kat Osterman, a 3-time Olympic medalist, 4-time All-American, and 6-time professional All-Star, said, "Athletes Unlimited continues to have an open-minded view for what best serves our sport and athletes. AUSL is much needed in our sport as the traditional model is popular amongst fans, but also gives athletes the opportunity to develop and progress within the consistent environment of a season. The AUSL will also help determine who will compete for the newly named AUSL Champions Cup in the current AU format. It's a great moment for our sport and amazing to have an organization like Athletes Unlimited continue to be innovative and serving both athletes and fans. And then lastly, Jessica Mendoza, a 2-time Olympic medalist, 4-time All-American, broadcast analyst, and Athletes Unlimited advisory board member, said, Athletes Unlimited has generated unprecedented national coverage for professional softball by ensuring widespread broadcast distribution for its leagues. I'm confident the AUSL will be the next step in the continued growth of the sport in the U.S. and provide countless opportunities for today's best players both on and off the field. So, Athletes Unlimited selected 5 players from OU and Oklahoma State during its 2024 collegiate draft. OU had 4 players drafted, with infielder Tari Jennings going 3rd, outfielder Jada Coleman 4th, catcher Kenzie Hansen 9th, and pitcher Kelly Maxwell at 12. The Sooners had the most pick in front of UCLA, which had the second most with 2. OSU pitcher Lexi Kilfoyle was the Cowgirls' lone draft pick at number 10. She is the 7th OSU softball player to be drafted by Athletes Unlimited since 2021. Jennings, Coleman, Hansen, and Maxwell, who could not sign with AU until the conclusion of the 2024 season, could join former OU players Alex Storoko, Kalani Ricketts, Haley Lee, Sydney Romero, and Jocelyn Alo, who all signed in 2024. The Athletes Unlimited Softball League is really shaking things up in the world of professional women's sports, and it's about way more than just, hitting home runs and stealing bases. This league is setting a whole new standard for how things can be done, making it a super important and cool development in women's sports. First off, the AUSL is flipping the script by letting players run the show. They get to draft their teams, make the rules, and even own a part of the league. This level of player empowerment is pretty groundbreaking and could seriously change the game, showing other sports that athletes can and maybe should have a say in the business and creative side of things. Then there's the game format itself, which is anything but ordinary, with teams changing up every week and a scoring system that keeps everyone on their toes. The league keeps things super fresh. Fans get to see new matchups and strategies all season long, which is a blast to follow. Plus, it really puts a spotlight on the players' skills and adaptability, making every game an exciting challenge. Having softball legends like Jessica Mendoza and Kat Osterman involved is another huge win. They bring loads of expertise and star power, which not only draws more eyes to the league, but also ensures that the AUSL is top-notch in terms of quality and innovation. Their involvement gives the league a ton of credibility and shows just how serious AUSL is about being a major player in the sports world. And of course, let's not forget about the ESPN deal. Having games broadcasted by a major network is a big deal because it brings women's softball to living rooms all over the country. This kind of exposure is crucial for growing the fans base, snagging more sponsorships, and just generally boosting the profile of women's softball, because as we know, it's not the most popular sport, considering that the Fast Pitch League did not end up going too well. So yeah, the AUSL is a pretty big deal. It's not just changing how we watch softball, it's pushing forward the whole concept of what a sports league can be. For anyone who cares about sports, equality, or just seeing some awesome innovation in action, the AUSL is definitely something to get excited about. It's more than just a league, it's a potential game changer for how professional sports cater to and celebrate women's athletes. So we're now going to move on to the next segment where we're going to recap the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. Before we get into that, we're going to be taking a very short break. So I will see you guys all very soon. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. This is our last final segment of the day. We just got done talking about Athletes Unlimited Softball League, how it's revolutionizing women's softball, and now we're going to be recapping the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series that took place in Boston on Friday, June 7th to Saturday, June 8th. This has been the annual competition since 2009 and Boston was his 100th step, and we are going to recap the competition. There are videos of the competition posted on YouTube, and you can also find clips of people cliff diving on the Red Bull website if you're interested. I know this is not like the most popular competition in the world right now, but it has been very much going viral on TikTok and YouTube with some of the videos, so I recommend watching that. Okay, let's begin. Despite trailing in the rankings for the first 3 rounds of diving, defending World Series champion Rhiannon Iflin held her nerve on the final day as she bounced back to take a last-minute win. After taking the win, Iflin said, "To be honest, when I started today, I was kind of wishing that I got that final dive out of the way yesterday, but it seems to have worked out today. We might keep it that way. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes at the next stop. We're going to Palagnano, a mare, and it's one of my favorite places to dive." So let's start with day 1. So on day 1, Canadian Simone... there we go. Canadian Simone Leet heads arm stand to 1.5 forward somersaults and a half twist. He officially kicked off the competition. The scene was set for an epic milestone event as round 1 got underway under pretty cloudy skies. With the women's required dives capped at a degree of difficulty of 2.6, it was all about power and precision. For wildcard Kayla Arnett, her World Series debut couldn't have gone much better. The U.S. server made a mark with an incredible inaugural World Series dive, finishing in second place with 67.60 points, behind the current leader in the overall rankings, Molly Carlson. The Canadian diver's first place finish after round 1 with her reverse 2 somersaults in Boston could well have set her on an early path to victory at the 100th stop. As Athens proved, when it comes to winning, every point counts. After Carlson squeezed out rival Rhiannon Iflin by just 0.1 point at the last stop. Here in Boston, Iflin currently sits in 3rd place after round 1 with 62.4 points to Carlson's 68.9. On day 2, Dutch diver Jenny van Katwig's experience shone through, bookending a big back 3 somersaults with a 1 twist dive with a strong takeoff and stylish entry. Her airborne prowess earned Van Kwat the 4th place finish in round 2 and holding on to a 6th place finish at the close of round 3. Iflin demonstrated her outstanding aerial awareness as she nailed her round 2 intermediate dive, a forward 3 somersault to a half twist, practically slicing through the surface of the Boston Harbor and picking up huge scores, 2 9.5s and a 9.0 to pile on the pressure for Carlson. Meanwhile, Kayla Arnett literally danced into day 2 off the back of a strong round 1 performance, with the animated 31-year-old proving she still had plenty of courage and consistency left in the tank for her first World Series appearance. Arnett's flexibility and power were on display, stronghold in round 2. For optional dive in round 3, Arnett dialed up the degree of difficulty and even outscored major player Iflin, a move that kept her in podium contention. Carlson was the final women's diver out on the platform in both diving rounds on day 2, but on both occasions the Canadian appeared calm and confident, first nailing a back 2 somersaults 2 twists before performing her most difficult 5 of the competition for her round 3 optional dive. From the moment Carlson launched on the platform, the 25-year-old found the perfect balance of speed, power, and precision to earn an 8.0 and 2 8.5s from the judges. Adding in a 4.4 level of difficulty, Carlson's final round 3 score put a healthy margin between her first place finish with 269 points so far to Iflin's 253.95 points. On the final day, day 3, Morgan Herculano of Switzerland opened the day. The U.S. divers garnered a lot of love from the crowd, with Ellie Smart finishing on a more positive note as she regained some ground on the score sheets after her day 2 riskier big dive fail to deliver ample points for the American. Meanwhile, Melly Carpenter showcased her incredible strength, throwing down a neat dynamic back 3 somersaults to 2 twists and picking up 101.20 points and a 4th place finish overall. Arnett, the American wildcard who had been shaking up the score sheets in the first 3 rounds, looked to be holding her own against giants Iflin and Carlson. Arnett appeared to be on a mission to have the most fun of any diver out on the platform, even despite the fact that she was making her own little piece of cliff diving history by bringing a brand new dive to the World Series. The wildcard fearlessly launched into reverse 3 somersaults in the pike position and made barely a splash as she sliced into the surface of the marina. The jaw-dropping brilliance and tenacity of the Texas native earned an 8.0 and 2 8.5s from the judges, guaranteeing an astonished Arnett a place on the Boston podium. Iflin was first up as the 2 biggest names left in the lineup prepared to dive. The 7-time World Series champion came into the 4th and final round with her highest level of difficulty, saving her most difficult dive for last, with rival Carlson having already performed her most top difficult dive on day 2 in round 3. A seemingly more relaxed Iflin pulled out an almost flawless back 3 somersaults 2 twists, emerging from the Boston Harbor all smiles, content that she had done all she could to do as she picked up 3 8.5 point averages, giving her a huge advantage ahead of Carlson's closing dive. Carlson perched on the pinnacle of pressure on the 21-meter platform with only 3 seconds of airtime between the Canadian diver and a Boston victory. She needed an average score of 8.8 from the judges to secure the win with her inward triple somersault, but when it came down to the wire, a slight drift and an over-rotation cost Carlson the win. Carlson's score of 2 7s and a 7.5 left Iflin victorious, with a shocked Arnett finishing in 2nd place overall in her first ever World Series appearance after beating Carlson by less than 1 point. So now let's just go through the final scores, just to, make this clearer and, set this all straight, because it can be very confusing. Okay, so Iflin from Australia placed first. Her first dive got a score of 62.4. Her second got a score of 93.5. Third got a score of 98.05, and her fourth dive got a score of 112.2, which was her hardest dive of the competition. Her final score was 366.15, so she was ahead of the 2nd place competitor. And in 2nd place was Kayla Arnett from the U.S. Her first dive got a score of 67.6. Her second got a score of 79.9. Her third earned a score of 99.45. And her fourth earned a score of 102.5. Her final score was 349.45. In 3rd place with Molly Carlson from Canada with the first dive score of 68.9. Second dive score of 90.1, third dive score of 110, and fourth dive score of 79.55. A final score of 348.55, so she was super close to 2nd place. In 4th place was Maylee Carpenter from the U.S., and her first dive got a score of 55.9. Second was 74.4, third was 90, and fourth was 101.2. She ended with a total score of 321.5, which is a pretty large gap between 3rd and 4th place, so it was very definitive who were the top 3 competitors, if that makes sense. In 5th was Simone Leathead from Canada, and her first dive got a score of 45.5, second was 86.7, third was 79.95, and fourth dive got a score of 89.7. Her final score was 301.85, and 6th was Jenny van Kouwijk from the Netherlands. Her first dive received a score of 59.8, her second received a score of 78.2, third 65.1, and her fourth received a score of 92. Her final score was 295.1. And 7th was Maria Paula Quintero, and her first dive got a score of 46.8. Her second was 68, her third was 66, and her fourth was 83.25. Final score was 264.05. So we're going to go to 8th place, but just so you guys know, there were a total of 12 competitors. And 8th was Amy Harrison. Her first dive received a score of 53.3. Her second received a score of 66.65. Third received a score of 72.15. And her fourth received a score of 66. Her final score was 258.1. One of the main reasons Iflin was able to get such a good score was because of her level of difficulty. She did not back down in that area at all. It's kind of like the same thing with gymnastics. When you have that level of difficulty that is just so much greater than everybody else's, like there's no way anybody else is going to beat you. Like your level of difficulty just makes you higher than all the other contenders. That's just how it works. Anyway, that concludes our show for today. Thank you guys for tuning in to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast presented to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you guys once again and have a wonderful day.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to